Videhi. Videhi, embracing life beyond physical appearance concerns. Point number 1. No value. Always remember that only the unseen element from the 5 elements involved in making our body has value, the rest of the 4 physical elements have no value at all. The mind should only give importance to the purity of the soul by maintaining it as it was at the time of birth. This is the only thing that should matter to you, and nothing else should, including your looks and physical appearance. If you are getting any kind of trouble, find out your mistake. If you are innocent, it should not matter. Upon completion of this video, we will delve into the importance and techniques of maintaining a pure soul. Therefore, we encourage you to watch the video in its entirety and explore all videos posted on the Goddess Planet Earth YouTube channel for a comprehensive understanding of life's concepts. Your support is appreciated. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for the latest updates. Unlike other living beings, humans possess a unique tendency to evaluate everything based on its value. Everyone tries to eliminate dirt as soon as possible since it holds no value. Upon recognizing that no physical entity, including humans, inherently possesses value, one can attain detachment from worldly concerns, also known as sannyas. Everything physical is transient and subject to perpetual change. No individual is destined to inhabit planet Earth indefinitely. Life is merely a temporary interaction with others present around you. Your physical appearance will not make any difference to live on planet Earth if you were only human present on this planet. Live life same way, you came alone and will go alone. As no one arrives with material possessions at birth, likewise, no one departs with them after death. Moral is the thing which changes with time has no value at all, so don't regret for the things you don't have and about the people who are not good with you. The body is akin to a notebook, where one writes their autobiography. With each new birth, a new notebook is provided for a new autobiography. Lack of inferiority complex is essential for a joyful journey from birth to death, leading a pleasant life on planet Earth. The physical form, though influenced by parental factors, is ultimately determined by Goddess Gayatri Devi, the embodiment of planet Earth. She possesses the power to bestow a physically appealing appearance, but one's physical abilities and looks are determined by their life's purpose, societal role, and karma from past lives. In some instances, she has bestowed upon glorious souls, such as Ashtavakra, physical bodies considered unattractive, facilitating their ability to fulfill important tasks for her. Their unattractive physical appearance enabled them to overcome 6 ripus and attain awakening and enlightenment, as others were deterred by their appearance. Few individuals remain virtuous due to a lack of opportunities to succumb to negative influences. Rather than comparing yourself to others, focus on your own journey and celebrate your unique strengths and accomplishments. Embrace your individual path to success and be open to constructive feedback from trusted friends or mentors. Life is a vibrant journey that weaves together interactions between individuals from birth to death, offering opportunities for growth, connection, and joy. By focusing on these interactions, rather than comparisons, we can cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness. Embracing life's experiences as a dynamic union of body, soul, and the natural world can empower us to live more mindfully and authentically. As we navigate life's twists and turns, we can create meaningful memories, foster lasting connections, and uncover our full potential. Ultimately, life is a precious gift that allows us to evolve, learn, and thrive, leaving a lasting legacy that transcends time. Everything happens for a reason. That reason causes change. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's hard. But in the end it's all for the best. Sometimes you gotta appreciate the little things in life, like being able to see, walk, breathe, eat, sleep. That's such a blessing. Embracing the liberation from I and want can utterly transform our lives. Those who achieve this will attain Vairagya. Letting go of our ego and desires can be an incredibly empowering experience, allowing us to unlock our full potential and discover our true purpose, as the Buddha so eloquently taught, guiding us to the transformative state of Vairagya. Vairagya represents a profound freedom from desires, unlocking the path to transcending emotional suffering and embracing a life of greater fulfillment. By shifting your focus to the positive aspects of your life, you'll become more aware of your resilience and the progress you're making. Your loved ones will appreciate your newfound confidence and enthusiasm. Having an inferiority complex can be a challenging experience, but it also presents an opportunity for growth, self-improvement, and transformation. By recognizing the patterns of self-doubt, negative self-talk, and avoidance, individuals can begin to break free from these limitations and develop a more confident, compassionate, and empowered mindset. This journey of self-discovery can be supported by seeking help from friends, family, or mental health professionals, and by practicing self-reflection, self-care, and self-compassion. As individuals work to overcome their inferiority complex, they can develop a more positive and realistic self-image, and cultivate the resilience, confidence, and determination needed to pursue their goals and aspirations. By embracing this process of transformation, individuals can unlock their full potential and live a more authentic, fulfilling, and purpose-driven life. Not going in inferiority complex requires yoga. Mental clarity is the most precious gift one can possess, exceeding financial wealth. It empowers clear thinking in a world filled with uncertainty. Taking decisions under the influence of emotions can lead to misguided choices. Conversely, calm and composed decision-making, augmented by knowledge and steadfast faith in a higher power, yields extraordinary results. The Sudarshan Chakra of Krishna symbolizes his ability to make informed decisions with mental clarity. Mental clarity can be achieved by calming the inner sea of emotions by meditation and yoga. You will rise above suffering when you learn to mindfully respond to every word spoken to you. The power lies in sitting back, observing with clarity, and making logical choices. When you master control over your emotions, you free yourself from letting others dictate your life. Breathe, let go, and allow things to pass. Animals, like monkeys, are slaves to their instincts, but humans have the capacity to evolve and transcend. From the dawn of humanity, we walked alongside animals, but a unique gift of evolution set us apart. Yoga, an ancient science, teaches us the art of calming our emotions and unlocking our true potential. What is योग? वियोग नहीं होने देने का प्रयास ही योग है. Yoga is the continuous effort to maintain our inherent innocence and sinlessness, similar to our state at birth. Yoga involves embracing unity with Mother Nature, Goddess Planet Earth, by becoming as good as she is, which means choosing not to separate after birth. This fosters a deep connection within ourselves. Not parting ways is also a form of union. By striving to maintain our inherent innocence and purity, we cultivate a powerful connection within ourselves. Yoga is a way of life that empowers positive change and growth. Just dhyan, also known as Zen or meditation, is not enough to fully benefit from meditation. The practice of yoga constitutes a dhyan Zen, a concentration technique. B. Yoga means keeping oneself as born. It involves constant effort to remain as pure, innocent and sinless as born, embracing your true self, living a sinless life and being your authentic self. C. Yoga is an ancient Indian physical exercise practice. D. Tapacharya, self-discipline, and avoiding sin, resisting emotions like kama, lust, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, moha, delusion, mada, ego, and matsarya, jealousy. It's a way of life that brings profound transformation. It is the way of life which brings burning. Dhyan, Zen, Yoga, and Yoga physical exercise is a holistic practice that integrates physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Also known as meditation, Dhyan Yoga enhances mental and physical health. Regular practice reduces stress and anxiety, providing relief from hypertension and heart diseases. Yoga is a science of realization of God. Every living being should learn this ancient Indian technique, which is the foundation of all religions, to live in harmony with others and fulfill their purpose in life. Through yoga, one can experience life to its fullest potential, cultivating natural and supernatural abilities. Dhyan is the optimal utilization of concentration. It involves freeing oneself from distractions and focusing on a thought of interest, thereby achieving concentration. Dhyan is a specialized form of concentration that involves redirecting attention from distractions and turmoil to focus on the divine. Rituals and daily worship of God as well as visiting to temple increases the total duration one spend under Sattva Guna. And Sattva Guna helps to minimize the sin as well as acts as therapy for emotional sufferings. It helps younger generation from your family to become religious and sattvic. Sattva Guna is like a superpower. Having knowledge about Brahma is essential for every living being. World is not illusion, it is as real as you can see, feel and experience it. Yet, transformation is the only constant force and it unfolds every moment. This is a fundamental essence of planet Earth. Advat means there is no second God, Mother Nature itself as the God and every living organisms, including humans, are vibrant threads in the majestic tapestry of the God and there is no other, second God. That's why there is no separation between the individual self and the Brahman God. I am an eternal, infinite, and divine being, as stated in the Yajurveda Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I represent a harmonious union of earth, body and soul, Atma. Both body, which is Goddess Planet Earth, and soul are Brahma. Body of every living being is reflection of union of these two divine entity which is called as Brahma. And I am more than just a physical being or consciousness. Both the earth and I, as a soul-endowed consciousness, existed before my birth. I was conscious before birth and will remain conscious forever, hence I am eternal. As a being, I comprise both body and soul. My birth marks the beginning of my journey. Prior to my birth, nothing existed for me, there was no sat or asat, no space or sky. The soul and body are Brahman, Ishwar, imperishable, pure, sinless, and indestructible. Upon birth, the formless, attributeless Brahman, consisting of earth and soul, takes on a physical form shaped by parental factors, with character molded by company and vasana, transitioning from formless to formful. As a union of two Brahman, Ishwar, I have taken on this particular name and bodily form through parental influence for a specific duration. I am distinct from my body and mind, which are impermanent and undergo changes. Just as the human body is a microcosm of the universe, so too is our existence intertwined with the cosmos. The universe and earth share a common foundation, with every element present on our planet reflected throughout the vast expanse of the universe. This profound connection reminds us that we are not separate from the world around us, but an integral part of it. The five fundamental elements earth, water, fire, air, and space form the very fabric of our being, with space embracing the non-physical aspects of our essence, such as the soul and heart. As we recognize our inherent connection to the universe, we are empowered to realize our full potential and contribute to the harmonious evolution of our world. Everything that comprises our being is derived from the cosmos and will forever remain a part of it, inspiring us to live in unity and harmony with the world around us. My ultimate goal is to transcend this body without sin and retain the formless characteristic once I become formless again, as it was before birth. Take life just as a journey. It is uplifting to recognize that we are all mortal beings. Those who acknowledge this reality will find peace in reconciling their differences. The Buddha wisely stated, hatred is never overcome by hatred, but only by love. Others fail to grasp that we are all heading towards death. Those who comprehend this will find solace in composing their quarrels. Everyone is on a journey, from birth to old age. The effects of this continuous journey are evident on our changing bodies and faces. Although we may be surrounded by others, we are alone in this journey. We are our own constant companions, from birth until death. Positive thinking is vital, as it can improve our mental and physical well-being. It enables us to cope with stress, feel happier, and maintain a balanced lifestyle. To ensure a pleasant journey, it is essential to cultivate good thoughts and maintain a positive demeanor. The journey from birth to death is a continuous process of change. Our experiences arise, appear, and then dissolve. The choices we make along the way can impact our growth, relationships, and well-being. We can approach aging with grace and wisdom, celebrating the experiences we have gained. Practicing mindfulness and meditation can help reduce stress and foster emotional well-being. Maintaining strong social connections can help us feel supported and fulfilled. Regular health checkups can help detect and address health issues early. Buddha teaches us to let go of the past and not worry about the future. This secret to maintaining mental and physical health is a powerful tool for living a happy life. By living in the present moment with wisdom and sincerity, we can unlock our full potential. Real life happens in the present, and it's free from the burdens of yesterday and tomorrow. When we stay present, we are aware of our tasks, priorities, and what's needed in the moment. We know that tomorrow is not guaranteed, and no one has ever witnessed it. The future is a possibility, and the past is a memory that will fade with time. The present is the only true reality, and taking care of it will free us from worries about the past and future. By living in the present, we can unlock a life of happiness, freedom, and fulfillment. Leave your soul alone. As Buddha said, everything is stuck in mind and matter. If you don't mind it, it doesn't matter. All emotional sufferings occur not because of internal conflicts, but because of concerns about other people. Observe your thoughts to identify which person in your thoughts is responsible for your current emotional disturbances, and removing that person is sufficient to reduce emotional sufferings. Tolerance, or tapacharya, is required to minimize emotional sufferings. If one can successfully absorb all insults and calm their emotional disturbances without resorting to unfair means, it means they are resisting the 6 emotions that are considered enemies of the mind. By doing so, one can harness the new power of their soul. Before proceeding to the final segment of this video, we kindly request that you like and share this content to inform the YouTube algorithm of its value. For a comprehensive understanding, please note that all topics covered in this video are also discussed in detail in other videos available on this YouTube channel. Additionally, new topics will be covered in the future. To stay updated, kindly review all videos posted on Goddess Planet Earth and subscribe to this channel. Buddha said, "Up Deepo Bhav, self-enlightenment apna Deepak Swayam Bano." Bhagwan Gautam Buddha. Upon attaining enlightenment, gaining knowledge, no individual achieves mastery over scientific knowledge or any other extraordinary expertise. Subsequent to realizing Brahma God. Following enlightenment, all discrimination ceases, and unity with all living beings is attained. Merely knowing Brahma is insufficient, realization is requisite for enlightenment. Some individuals may mistakenly perceive an enlightened being as a non-believer in God and religion. Upon achieving enlightenment, adherence to a specific religion and belief in a particular concept of God cease. Enlightenment entails gaining a clear vision that disregards all illusions, confusion, and myths superimposed on truth or reality. New topics will be covered in the future. To stay updated, kindly review all videos posted on Goddess Planet Earth and subscribe to this channel. Please don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. Goddess Planet Earth YouTube channel.
एकमेवाद्वितीयम् ब्रह्म पार्ट 1। कर्म का एक ही ब्रह्म सत्य है, जो एक ही है और दूसरा कोई भी नहीं। एकमेवाद्वितीयम् ब्रह्म, आत्मा की शुद्धता बनाए रखना ही हमारी सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि होती है। जो धरा का है वो धरा पर ही रह जाएगा। सारा जीवन इस ब्रह्म सत्य को जानकर, समझकर और हर पल याद रखकर सारे कर्म करने चाहिए। Every action, good or bad, has consequences that will manifest. Individuals must face the repercussions of their actions. Therefore, it is crucial for all individuals to engage in good deeds, utilizing their intellect, mind, and body. One should strive to perform tasks that are beneficial to oneself, as a lack of effort can lead to poverty and hardship. Discerning individuals will reap some rewards from their actions, while others will experience immediate consequences, and some will face delayed repercussions. Once the suffering caused by Vipravar Bandhan is complete and the mind and body are purified, an individual can begin practicing yoga and penance. Ultimately, the performance of good deeds enables the soul to attain divine birth, whereas engaging in good and bad deeds can lead to hell, and committing sinful acts can result in a life akin to that of animals and birds. हर व्यक्ति में एक अविनाशी और शाश्वत आत्मा है, जो परब्रह्म से जुड़ी हुई है। आत्मा की शुद्धता बनाए रखना हमारी सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि हो सकती है। हमें अपने कर्मों के माध्यम से अपने और दूसरों के हितों की रक्षा करनी चाहिए। ये शरीर मिट्टी से बना है, लेकिन हमारी आत्मा अमर है। इसलिए हमें जीवन में घमंड नहीं करना चाहिए और भगवान पर भरोसा रखकर जीना चाहिए। हमें निरंतर प्रयास करते रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारे कर्मों के फल अवश्य मिलते हैं। हर जीवित प्राणी को जीवन जीने के लिए कार्य करना ही पड़ता है, और यही हमें आगे बढ़ने की प्रेरणा देता है। पृथ्वी पर जीवन जीने की लागत है। There is cost of living on planet Earth. लेकिन यही हमें मजबूत बनाती है। कर्म शब्द एक प्रभावशाली शब्द है और विभिन्न प्रकार की गतिविधियों से जुड़ा हुआ है। संस्कृत में कर्म का अर्थ कार्य या क्रिया है, जिसमें हमारे शरीर, मन और वाणी द्वारा किए गए सभी कार्य शामिल हैं। In the same manner that flowers and fruits grow independently without inspiration and are not bound by time, past actions also produce their respective good or bad results at the right moment. Perform such tasks throughout the day to sleep peacefully at night. A person who works with devotion, is a pure soul, and has controlled their mind and senses, is loved by everyone and holds everyone dear. Such an individual remains unattached to their work, even while doing it. The person who dedicates the results of their actions to God and continues working without attachment remains unaffected by sinful actions, just like a lotus leaf remains untouched by water. The person who is neither overjoyed by attaining their desired object nor disturbed by receiving something unpleasant, whose intellect is stable, free from attachment, and has knowledge of God, is already situated in a state of spiritual enlightenment. It is essential to work without attachment to worldly possessions, for they cause enduring agony. Detach your senses from the world, believe in God, and strive continuously, ensuring that your actions bring no harm or disrespect to others. Embracing inner peace, by remaining in state of yoga through the resistance of 6 ripus, is a transformative journey that empowers us to rise above worldly attachments, unlocking a path of spiritual growth, trust, and purposeful action that honors the well-being of all. By letting go, we break free from limitations and cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves and others. Focus on nurturing your spiritual growth, trust in a higher power, and work with kindness, respect, and compassion. Remember, selfless work and commitment to your values are key, and trusting that your efforts will be rewarded is essential. View failures as valuable learning experiences that propel you forward. Embracing inner peace begins with releasing worldly attachments, freeing us to pursue a path of spiritual growth, trust, and purposeful action that respects the well-being of all. By working selflessly and staying committed to your values, you'll find that success and failure become opportunities for growth and learning. Maintaining purity of soul should be only goal in your life. Rest, believe in God, He will never make mistakes in returning fruits of your karma. कर्म कर, फल की चिंता मत कर। खाली हाथ आया था, अगर पाप नहीं किए हैं तो हे धरती से मोक्ष मिलेगा, नहीं तो जन्म मृत्यु के चक्रव्यूह से नहीं निकल सकते हो। कर्म का एक ही ब्रह्म सत्य है, जो एक ही है और दूसरा कोई भी नहीं। एकमेवाद्वितीयम् ब्रह्म, आत्मा की शुद्धता बनाए रखना ही हमारी सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि होती है। जो धरा का है वो धरा पर ही रह जाएगा। सारा जीवन इस ब्रह्म सत्य को जानकर, समझकर और हर पल याद रखकर सारे कर्म करने चाहिए। The consequences of one's actions are unavoidable. When a foolish individual encounters trouble, he often curses God, failing to recognize that his circumstances are a direct result of his actions. Only by relinquishing desires, performing duties without attachment or ego, can one attain peace. Divine forces operate based on karma, influencing the wind, the sun's rise, and its governance of day and night. One's experiences of sorrow, happiness, and heavenly bliss are determined by their karma. Observations indicate that actions in this world yield corresponding consequences. Idleness leads to sorrow, while karma serves as the ultimate rewarder. The world is engrossed in its duties, and we must follow suit. One who abstains from work never achieves success. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भूर्मा ते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि, भगवद गीता के अध्याय 2 के श्लोक 47 में है। इसका मतलब है कि कर्म करने का अधिकार है, लेकिन कर्म के फल का नहीं। इस श्लोक में कर्म योग के बारे में 4 उपदेश दिए गए हैं। इस श्लोक का अर्थ, कर्म करना चाहिए, लेकिन इसके फल की चिंता नहीं करनी चाहिए। कर्म का फल सुख के लिए नहीं है, यानी कर्मों का फल पाने वाला व्यक्ति नहीं है। कर्म करते समय कर्ता होने का अहंकार नहीं करना चाहिए। अकर्मण्यता में आसक्ति नहीं रखनी चाहिए। इस श्लोक से जुड़ी कुछ और बातें। ये श्लोक काम को निष्काम भाव से करने की समझ देता है। ये श्लोक कर्म योग के बारे में बात करते समय अक्सर जिक्र किया जाता है। ये श्लोक हमें कर्म करने के लिए प्रेरित करता है, लेकिन फल की चिंता नहीं करने के लिए कहता है। ये श्लोक हमें कर्म योग के महत्व को समझने में मदद करता है। ये श्लोक हमें जीवन में सफलता प्राप्त करने के लिए कर्म करने के महत्व को समझने में मदद करता है। पृथ्वी पर सबसे मूलभूत सिद्धांत यह है कि हर चीज से अलगाव में रहना चाहिए, जिसमें हमारे कार्य भी शामिल हैं। ऐसे कार्य करें जिनके परिणामों के बारे में चिंता न करनी पड़े। योजना ही सब कुछ है। यदि आप बेहतर योजना बनाते हैं, तो आपको परिणामों के बारे में चिंता करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। योगस्थ रहते हुए जो कार्य किए जाते हैं, उनके यश की जिम्मेदारी भगवान पर है। इसलिए हमें अपने कार्यों में निष्ठा और समर्पण से काम करना चाहिए। किसी को दिखाने के लिए काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बल्कि अपनी क्षमता को बढ़ाने पर ध्यान देना चाहिए। दूसरों से प्रेरणा लेकर काम करना उचित है, न कि किसी का अनुकरण करना। किसी को नीचा दिखाने के लिए काम नहीं करना चाहिए। अपना जीवन दूसरों की तुलना में नहीं जीना चाहिए, बल्कि अपने लक्ष्यों पर ध्यान देना चाहिए। जीवन को एक सीखने की प्रक्रिया के रूप में लेना चाहिए और दूसरों से सीखना चाहिए। तुलना करने से केवल दुख होगा। किसी भी उम्मीद के बिना काम करना चाहिए। काम का उत्कृष्ट परिणाम पाने के लिए ज्ञान की आवश्यकता है। ज्ञान के बिना किसी भी काम को करना उचित नहीं है। सीखना जरूरी है। पूरे जीवन भर सीखते रहना चाहिए। कर्म ऐसा करना चाहिए कि फल की चिंता न करनी पड़े। कर्म का फल सुख के लिए नहीं है, बल्कि यह एक नई ऊर्जा का संचार करने का साधन है। कर्म का फल सुख के लिए नहीं है। यदि आप जीत का आनंद लेते रहते हैं तो आप अपनी क्षमता को मार रहे हैं और अगले काम के अवसर खो देंगे। हमेशा कुछ अगला होना चाहिए, बस इसलिए करें कि यह करना आवश्यक है। इसके अलावा कोई अन्य कारण नहीं होना चाहिए। अर्थात कर्मों का फल पाने वाला व्यक्ति नहीं है। अपने कर्मों के सभी फलों को भगवान को अर्पित करो। यदि आप दावा करते हैं कि आपने ऐसा किया है, तो हमेशा कोई न कोई होगा जो ये साबित करने का प्रयास करेगा कि आप गलत हैं। कर्म करते समय कर्ता होने का अहंकार नहीं करना चाहिए। ऐसा न सोचो कि तुम कुछ बड़ा कर रहे हो। एक बार आपने कहा कि मैंने ये किया है, तो आप उस कर्म से जुड़ जाते हैं और आप अपनी क्षमता खो देंगे। अकर्मण्यता में आसक्ति नहीं रखनी चाहिए। इसके अलावा कोई अन्य कारण नहीं होना चाहिए। निष्काम कर्म, कर्मयोग। तपश्चर्या का मतलब ऐसा आचरण जिससे तकलीफ होती है। भगवान ने हर एक को षड्रिपु, ऑल्सो नोन एज ऋषद्वाग, की शक्ति दी है, जिसका उपयोग करके पाप धो सकते हो। हर हालत में भावनाओं को शांत रखकर बुरे विचार और बुरे काम से दूर रहने का प्रयास ही तपश्चर्या है। आत्मा की पवित्रता को बनाकर जो संसार के दबाव को सहन करता है, उसके आत्मा की चमक बढ़ती है। तपश्चर्या संसार में रहकर ही की जा सकती है, संसार से भागकर नहीं। जो भी संसार में बना हुआ है उसे क्षत्रिय कहा जाता है, और संसार को क्षेत्र। मनुष्य का शरीर भी उसके लिए क्षेत्र है। हर एक को अपने अंदर जो बुराई है, उसके साथ साथ संसार में रहते हुए बाहरी दबाव से भी युद्ध करना पड़ता है। गलती नहीं रहने पर अगर तकलीफ होती है तो पुण्य का संचय होता है, ये याद रखना जरूरी है। धर्म का मतलब जो अधर्म नहीं, वो जो बुरा है वो अधर्म। संसार में रहते हुए धर्म के पथ पर कायम रहना, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए। इसके लिए आपको अपने घर वालों से ही लड़ना पड़े तो भी सिर्फ अच्छा जीवन बिताने को ही तपश्चर्या कहते हैं। गीता का मुख्य उपदेश किंकर्तव्य विमूढ़ और निष्क्रिय लोगों को आत्मा की पवित्रता बनाए रखने के युद्धक तपश्चर्या के लिए प्रेरित करना है। षड्रिपु, ऑल्सो नोन एज ऋषद्वाग, चीलेत करुणा आत्मा चमकविता ये तो। फक्त जो काही त्रास होत आहे त्यात तुमची काहीही चूक नसली पाहिजे। कोणताही त्रास होत असताना स्वतःच्या चुका शोधून नीट करा। खुद को सुधारो, बाकी अपने आप सुधर जाएगा। Once you correct yourself, entire world will become good for you. त्वम आत्मानम। इस मंत्र को हर तकलीफ और बुरे समय में याद करो। गीता में कृष्णा बिना फल में आसक्ति किए हुए कर्म करने के लिए प्रेरित करते हैं। मनुष्य को शुभ कर्म करने चाहिए। शुभ कर्म वे हैं जिनके करने से आयु को सुख मिलता है। परिणाम के विचार से कर्म में कमी नहीं आनी चाहिए। यही प्रकृति का नियम है। प्रकृति नित्य कर्मशील रहती है। कृष्ण कहते हैं, न ही कश्चित क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत। सत्य की प्राप्ति मनुष्य के कर्म का अंतिम लक्ष्य तो सत्य की प्राप्ति ही है। जो कर्म असत्य अधर्म की ओर अग्रसर करें, वे शुभ कर्म नहीं है। सत्य को पहचान कर ही कर्म में प्रविष्ट होना चाहिए। केवल अंधविश्वास में आकर कोई कर्म नहीं करना चाहिए। पूरा परीक्षण करके सत्य की कसौटी पर उतार कर ही कोई कर्म करना चाहिए। सामान्यतया मनुष्य कर्म के परिणामों के विषय में विचार कर उसके प्रति अपना मन बनाता है तथा उसको करने के लिए अग्रसर होता है। परिणाम सुखद आने पर वह हर्ष से फूला नहीं समाता, जिससे उसके सामान्य जीवन में असंतुलन हो जाता है, और परिणाम विपरीत आने पर वह निराश हो जाता है। किसी भी कर्म में उसका मन नहीं लगता, इससे भी उसका व उससे जुड़े अन्य जनों का जीवन असंतुलित हो जाता है। प्रकृति हमें यह नहीं सिखाती। प्रकृति सदा संतुलन बनाए रखते हुए कर्मशील होती है। मनुष्य को भी उसी प्रकार का आचरण करना चाहिए। इसी विचार से कृष्ण ने निष्काम कर्म करने के लिए उपदेश दिया। इसका ये तात्पर्य बिल्कुल नहीं कि वह कर्म ही न करे। निष्काम कर्म गीता का प्रमुख प्रतिपाद्य विषय निष्काम कर्म ही है, जिसे कर्मयोग भी कहा गया है। कर्म में मन लगाते हुए उसकी सफलता असफलता को संभाव से लेना चाहिए। कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भूमा ते संगोस्त्व कर्मणि। वास्तव में मनुष्य के अधिकार में कर्म करना ही है। उस कर्म का फल क्या होगा यह उसके अधिकार के क्षेत्र में नहीं आता। जब फल उसके वश में है ही नहीं तो उसे कर्म करते ही रहना चाहिए। कर्म से मुंह नहीं मोड़ना चाहिए। यही गीता का प्रमुख संदेश है। यदि कर्म में सफलता मिलती है तो उसे ईश्वर का आशीर्वाद समझकर स्वीकार करना चाहिए, और असफलता मिलने पर भी ईश्वर की इच्छा मानना चाहिए। कोई भी कर्म यदि ईश्वर को समर्पित करके किया जाएगा तो उसके फल के विषय में चिंता नहीं हो। कल की चिंता न करते हुए कमी को कुशलता पूर्वक करना ही योग है। कृष्ण ने कहा है, योगा कर्मसु कौशलम। समत्व बुद्धि तभी उत्पन्न हो सकती है जब मनुष्य मन व इंद्रियों को वश में कर लेता है, जब सुख दुखात्मक विरोधी भाव उसे सताते नहीं हैं। सुख मिलने पर भी वह संतुष्ट रहता है और दुख मिलने पर भी वह संतुष्ट रहता है। इसी को योग कहते हैं। समत्वम योग उच्यते। कर्म मनुष्य के दो प्रकार के कर्म हैं, एक तो बाह्य जो शारीरिक क्रियाएं हैं और दूसरे आंतरिक जो मानसिक या वैचारिक हैं। मनुष्य बाह्य कर्मों से रहित हो सकता है, लेकिन सकारात्मक विचार उसको नित्य प्रेरित करते हैं। यदि कोई व्यक्ति दयालु और हितैषी विचारों में मग्न रहता है तो वह उसके कार्यों में भी परिलक्षित होगा। अतः आवश्यक है कि वह शारीरिक कर्मों के साथ साथ मानसिक कर्मों का भी संतुलन बनाए। कर्मयोगियों का मानना है कि कर्म करने से पूर्व उसके फल की इच्छा को ही नष्ट किया जाए तो सर्वोत्तम होगा। कर्म अकर्म से श्रेष्ठ मनुष्य परिणाम की चिंता करके कर्म ही न करे, यह उचित नहीं है। गीता में इसे अकर्मण्यता कहा गया है। मनुष्य को सकारात्मक भावना से निरंतर कर्मशील रहना चाहिए। कृष्ण ने स्वयं कहा है, नियतम कुरु कर्म त्वम कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः। गीता 3/3। सकाम कर्म मनुष्य को बंधन में बांध ले हैं और निष्काम कर्म उसे बंधन मुक्त करते हैं। सकाम कर्म मनुष्य को दुर्बल बनाते हैं और निष्काम कर्म उसे सबल। निष्काम कर्म मनुष्य को स्थितप्रज्ञ की अवस्था में पहुंचाते हैं। जो नहीं मिला उसका दुख न करना और जो मिला है उसमें संतुष्ट रहना, यही सच्चा कर्म योग है। जो व्यक्ति सुख दुख के बंधनों से मुक्त है वह सहज ही जीवन के असली सुख को प्राप्त कर लेता है, और वही वास्तव में कर्मयोगी बनता है। कर्मयोगियों का मानना है कि बंधन उस कर्म से नहीं होता जो किया जा रहा है, बल्कि उस कामना से होता है जिससे वह किया जा रहा है। इसलिए उन्होंने माना कि कर्म करने से पूर्व उसके फल की इच्छा को ही नष्ट किया जाए तो सर्वोत्तम होगा। To live successful life on planet Earth, strong faith on God is required. Learning is a constant thing and one should keep learning. जीवन के चक्रव्यूह को समझने का मतलब ही प्रकृति को समझना है। Goddess Bhudevi is the vibrant soul and body of planet Earth, a majestic female planet. Every girl on the planet is her loving daughter, while male souls originate from another planet, represented by the divine Vishnu. As the planet's nurturing owner, Bhudevi is revered as Devi, meaning the one who gives, and as depicted in Hindu iconography as graciously serving Vishnu, welcoming all as honored guests. She is the giver, while male souls are called Devta, meaning the one who needs to be given. She is the warm host, and Vishnu, male soul, are the cherished guests, which is why she is always shown as serving Vishnu as God. अतिथि देवो भाव, जी देते ती देवी, पृथ्वी वरती तिची सत्ता है, पृथ्वी वरील सर्व मुलीची ती आया है, मुली ह्या पृथ्वी चे फाट आहेत, ती दासी आहे, दासी जिला देण्यात आनंद आहे ती दासी ज्यांना द्याव लागतम ते देवता. पृथ्वी वरती खरा देव एकच आहे ज्याच्या नावाने देवी कुणकुलावते. Bhudevi is the creator shown as lotus with Brahma, the giver or male soul is shown as Vishnu, the observer, soul who takes care of his body. The combination of both, the immortal Brahma is mortal being, Shiva, who has death and is thus called the destroyer. This is the meaning of God. Unlike other deities who are mere visitors, goddess Bhudevi is the only resident goddess. She is the only effective god on planet Earth. That's meaning of एकमेवाद्वितीयम ब्रह्म, पुरुष आत्मा परब्रह्म है जो परग्रह से आया हुआ अविनाशी तत्व है, जो सदा से है और सदा के लिए रहेगा. On planet Earth, all other gods are helpless without her help. एकमेवाद्वितीयम ब्रह्म, आत्मा की शुद्धता बनाए रखना ही हमारी सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि होती है. जो धरा का है वो धरा पर ही रह जाएगा. जीवन के चक्रव्यूह को समझ. चक्रव्यूह, the vicious cycle of birth and death. चक्रव्यूह, जन्म मृत्यु का चक्र. Entering it is called as birth and exit is called as moksha, salvation. Life is a complex and intricate web akin to a chakravyu, where those who successfully navigate its challenges are freed from the cycle of birth and rebirth. Conversely, those entrapped must endure the consequences of their mistakes and transgressions. This existential maze, with its numerous paths and experiences, demands resilience and adaptability. Navigating the Chakravyu requires confronting one's deepest fears and limitations, symbolizing a complex and seemingly inescapable situation. To overcome this challenge, one must tap into their inner strength, maintain awareness and focus, and transcend self-imposed limitations. Jesus emphasized the importance of seeking divine guidance to successfully navigate life's challenges. The labyrinth, a sacred symbol for life's journey, represents the complexities and challenges one faces. In Christianity, the labyrinth signifies the journey to salvation, where God's guidance is essential for navigating life's highs and lows. The human experience is analogous to navigating a labyrinthine tunnel fraught with illusions and confusions, with the paramount objective of emerging from it in a solitary attempt, unencumbered by the cycle of birth and rebirth. Kabir's metaphor depicted life as a reservoir of kajal, underscoring the imperative of withdrawal without sustaining blemishes. Mentorship plays a vital role in this undertaking. Jesus counseled proximity to God, who would offer guidance, while Buddha espoused self-reliance as the means to illuminate one's path. Life is characterized by ephemeral interactions with others. All individuals come into this world to live one life. Nevertheless, as a consequence of sin, they must endure rebirth multiple times until their sins are fully atoned for, resulting in entrapment within the cycle of birth and rebirth. Humans are essentially social beings that depend on one another for survival, and existing on Earth involves interacting with others. We engage with the positive and negative aspects of other individuals' minds, rather than their physical selves. This interaction starts at birth when others assign us a name and impose a religion, thereby creating the first Chakravyuh. As we mature, we must conform to the perceived principles and ideas of our family and religion, often resulting in sin and bringing distractions from the path we are supposed to follow. The individual who resorts to improper actions to provide for their family will ultimately bear the consequences of those actions. The wrongdoing of one person cannot be suffered by others. To avoid wrongdoing that occurs under the influence of care, hatred for family members and others in society is an actual war that everyone must fight since birth. People often criticize Bhagwan Shri Krishna for prompting Arjun to wage war against his family members. But in reality, he was motivating Arjun to remain virtuous, in any case and in any circumstances, even if he has to resist or oppose his own blood relatives. The eternal principles of Brahma, which constitute the fundamental laws of planet Earth personified as a goddess and embodying the planet's body and soul, are expected to be upheld by everyone. These laws have been universally applicable and in effect since the dawn of time, collectively referred to as Dharma. Adhering to these laws, known as Sanatan Dharma or Brahmacharya, governs both thoughts and actions from birth until death. Therefore, possessing knowledge of Brahma is essential for everyone. The concept of Brahma, embracing transformation as a natural part of life. Brahma refers to the timeless, divine entity or knowledge that transcends the physical realm, comprising the invisible Akash Tattva. Change is an ongoing journey, while that which remains unchanged, eternal, and present since the beginning of time is wisely called Brahma. Brahma can be an entity or represent knowledge. Brahma Gyan Sanatan denotes the eternal, flawless, and immutable knowledge that has always existed and will continue to inspire. It is uniform and unchanging for everyone, offering a sense of unity and purpose. Following Brahma is known as Sanatana Dharma. Brahma, the soul is Brahma, a timeless and divine entity. Brahma Gyan, the knowledge imparted by the soul is called Brahma Gyan, offering guidance and wisdom. That which is eternal, flawless, and immutable, which has always existed and will continue to inspire, which never changes, and which is uniform for everyone is beautifully referred to as Brahma Gyan Sanatan. Following Brahma is known as Sanatana Dharma, a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Through physical, mental, and intellectual means, yogis undertake actions to abandon worldly attachments, purify themselves, and remove undesirable mental qualities, thereby enabling the divine stream of knowledge to illuminate their path to moksha. The concept Abdipo Bhav embodies the attainment of self-illumination. Individuals can access the eternal and indestructible wisdom of Brahma Gyan, which resides within, by liberating the innate river of knowledge within. Accumulated sin and negative mindsets can obstruct its flow. The distance between an individual and Brahma Gyan is the inner darkness of ignorance, bad thoughts and sin. By eliminating postnatal negativity and reverting to sinlessness, individuals can unlock this inner stream of divine knowledge guiding daily actions. Om Asto Ma Sadgamay Tamso Ma Jyotirgamay Mrityo Ma Amritgamay Om Shante Shante Shanti। इस श्लोक का अर्थ है कि हे भगवान, मुझे असत्य से सत्य की ओर ले चलो, मुझे अज्ञान से ज्ञान की ओर ले चलो, और मुझे मृत्यु से अमरता की ओर ले चलो। ये श्लोक बृहदारण्यकोपनिषद से लिया गया है और संस्कृत का एक प्रार्थना मंत्र है। इसका मूल सार असत और सत से परे जाना है। Life is a perpetual struggle to maintain the innocence with which we were born. Avoiding mistakes is akin to attempting to thread an elephant through the eye of a needle. The initial conflict is internal, wherein we must conquer our own selves. Both negative thoughts and actions are deemed sinful. We must exert constant effort to preserve the purity of our thoughts and actions. The next conflict is external, commencing at birth. Primarily, we must contend with our close relatives, as we interact with them extensively. Additionally, we must navigate conflicts with others, as we coexist within society. Our struggle is not with the physical forms of others but with the inherent wickedness within everyone. The inability to resist the six vices leads to malevolent thoughts and actions, culminating in the accumulation of sins, which, in turn, results in the loss of our innate innocence and sinless nature. The individual who engages in improper actions to provide for their family will ultimately bear the consequences of those actions. The sins of one person cannot be suffered by others. To avoid sin which happens coming under influence of care, hatred about family members and others in society is actual war that everyone has to fight since birth. Only Yogast, yogi, person can come out of the Chakravyuh. The one who has maintained original characteristics of his soul is called Yogast. This state is also known as Samadhi. Yogast is the state where one remains calm and emotionally balanced by keeping Shadripu under control. According to Bhagavad Gita, Yogast is a state where one performs their duties without getting attached to the outcome. This state is achieved by remaining in the state of yoga. Yogast is a state of supreme liberation where one gets moksha or salvation. To attain a deeper understanding of this topic, please watch the video until the end and review all videos posted on this YouTube channel to acquire profound knowledge from ancient Indian religious texts. Your support in promoting awareness about Hinduism is crucial, so kindly like and share this video with your contacts and subscribe to this channel. योगस्थ, जिसने आत्मा की परम गति को बनाए रखा है, उसे योगस्थ कहा जाता है। जो जैसा है वैसा ही रहता है तो उसे योगस्थ कहते हैं। इसे ही समाधि कहते हैं। जो योग में स्थिर है उसे योगस्थ कहा जाता है। जिसने अपनी आत्मा की मूल प्रकृति को बनाए रखा है, उसे योगस्थ कहा जाता है। योगस्थ शब्द का अर्थ है संन्यास, निवृत्ति, निर्वाण, शिहोहम, अजर और वैराग्य। पृथ्वी पर समय बिताने के बावजूद इसके प्रति मोहित न होना यही योगस्थ है। आत्मा की परम गति को बनाए रखते हुए जीवन जीने का विज्ञान योग है। आत्मा का न तो जन्म होता है और न ही मृत्यु। ये नित्य, अजर, अमर और शाश्वत है। नित्य शब्द का अर्थ ही गति है। जो अनित्य है वह गतिमान नहीं है। अजर का अर्थ है किसी भी वृत्ति या अवगुण से मुक्त। संन्यास शब्द का मराठी शब्द निवृत्ति है। निवृत्ति का अर्थ है वृत्ति का अभाव। योगस्थ शब्द का अर्थ है संन्यास, निवृत्ति, निर्वाण, शिहोहम, अजर और वैराग्य। पाप करने के बाद आत्मा जो अमर है, उसे बार बार जन्म लेकर मरना पड़ता है। पृथ्वी पर वेद रूपी अमृत है, जिसे पीकर आत्मा को फिर से अमरता प्राप्त होती है। अनेक जन संसिद्धस्ततो याति परांगतिम, गीता जन्म जन्मांतर तक साधन करता हुआ पुरुष सिद्ध होकर परम गति को प्राप्त होता है। आत्मा की गति है, वृत्ति या गुण नहीं। आत्मा निर्गुण निराकार है। जन्म लेने के बाद आत्मा को आकार मिलता है। निर्गुण निराकार आत्मा साकार हो जाता है। ईश्वर ने हर चीज को विशिष्ट गति दी है, जो दिखाई देती है और अदृश्य भी। हर कोई पृथ्वी पर कुछ समय बिताने के लिए पैदा होता है। आत्मा को गति प्राप्त होती है, जिसे परम गति कहा जाता है। जन्म लेने के बाद भी उनकी गति बनी रहती है। उसी गति से वे पृथ्वी पर जीवन बिताते हैं। उस गति में बाधा जो आती है, उसका नाम वियोग है। योगस्थ रहकर गति को बनाए रखने के विज्ञान का नाम योग है। जन्म से लेकर मृत्यु तक अगर आत्मा की गति वैसे ही रहती है जैसे जन्म से पहले थी, तो ही उससे मृत्यु के बाद परम गति पुनः प्राप्त होती है। ऐसा मृत्यु जिसको मिलता है उसे परम गति प्राप्त होती है, ऐसा कहा जाता है। इसे ही मोक्ष या सैल्वेशन कहा जाता है। गति को बनाए रखने को ही मोक्ष कहा जाता है। गति में बाधा आने से आत्मा जन्म और मृत्यु के चक्र में फंस जाता है। जो सिर्फ एक जीवन बिताने के लिए पृथ्वी पर आया था, उसे बार बार जन्म लेना पड़ता है। अनेक योनियों से गुजरकर मानव जन्म मिलता है, जो मुक्ति का दरवाजा है। कर्म होते हैं और उनके फल भी होते हैं। मिट्टी से आया है, मिट्टी में जाएगा। शरीर मिट्टी से बना है और मृत्यु के बाद मिट्टी में मिल जाएगा। पाप और पुण्य की गोलाबेरीज जो पर्यंत शून्य नहीं होती, तो पर्यंत मुक्ति, आत्मा की परम गति प्राप्त नहीं होती। As we journey through life, our soul's original, innate nature begins to shine less brightly due to the influence of worldly experiences and desires. This distraction causes us to lose sight of our true, infinite potential. To rediscover our authentic self and stay on the path of supreme liberation, we practice Dhyan Yoga, a profound and integral part of yoga. In Marathi, Dhyan beautifully encompasses both remembrance and concentration. When we meditate, involving our thoughts as Dhyan, by reminding ourselves of our soul's original, divine character and purpose on this earth, we experience Dhyan. Without thoughts, it's simply a concentration technique, but with thoughts, it's a powerful journey of self-discovery and growth. सभी परिस्थितियों को शांतिपूर्वक स्वीकार करने के योग्य बनने का अथक प्रयास ही योग है। वियोग नहीं होने देने का प्रयास ही योग है। Remaining calm and emotionally balanced by keeping Shidripu under control is called योग। योगस्थ कुरु कर्माणि संग त्यक्त्वा धनंजय सिद्ध सिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा समत्वम योग उच्यते। भगवद गीता के दूसरे अध्याय का श्लोक 48 है। इसका मतलब है कि योग में स्थिर होकर कर्तव्य का पालन करो और सफलता और असफलता की आसक्ति को त्याग करो। यही संभाव योग कहलाता है। इस श्लोक का अर्थ, योग में स्थिर होकर अपने कर्मों को करते समय किसी तरह के लगाव को छोड़ देना चाहिए। सफलता और असफलता में समान रहना चाहिए। यही समता योग कहलाती है। हमें सभी परिस्थितियों को शांतिपूर्वक स्वीकार करना चाहिए। प्रयास करना हमारे हाथ में है और परिणाम सुनिश्चित करना हमारे नियंत्रण में नहीं है। अगर हम यश और अपयश, सफलता और असफलता, सुख और दुख दोनों को समान रूप से भगवान की इच्छा मानते हुए ग्रहण करना सीख लेते हैं, तब हमारे भीतर ऐसा संभाव विकसित होता है। समत्व योग कहलाता है। इसको ही समाधि कहते हैं। जन्म से पहले जैसा है वैसा रहना ही योग है। Life on planet Earth is similar to entering a Chakravyuh. Remaining sinless is equivalent to trying to pass an elephant through a needle's tiny hole. Without knowledge of the Ved, it is not possible. That is why yoga is required to live a successful life on planet Earth. Your bad actions as well as bad thoughts are counted in sin. टाइप्स ऑफ योग: ज्ञान योग, ध्यान योग, कर्म योग और भक्ति योग। ज्ञान के द्वारा सत्य का साक्षात्कार किया जा सकता है, कर्म के द्वारा चित्त की शांति प्राप्त होती है तथा भक्ति के द्वारा आनंद को प्राप्त किया जा सकता है। The outcome attained through Gyan Yoga is the most stable and long-lasting compared to other yogic methods, but it is also the most challenging, as only a pure soul can acquire divine knowledge. Even if someone is given this knowledge, it will not be beneficial until they realize God. Bhakti Yoga, on the other hand, is the simplest form of yoga, accessible to anyone. Dhyan Yoga is a mental concentration technique. योगस्थ रहते हुए नित्य कर्म करने का नाम कर्म योग है। This daily practice is essential for everyone to adopt. The one who has maintained original characteristics of his soul is called yogist. This state is also known as samadhi. Yogast is the state where one remains calm and emotionally balanced by keeping Shadripu under control. According to Bhagavad Gita, Yogast is a state where one performs their duties without getting attached to the outcome. This state is achieved by remaining in the state of yoga. Yogast is a state of supreme liberation where one gets moksha or salvation. To achieve this state, one needs to practice yoga, which includes Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Jnana Yoga is the most stable and long-lasting method, but it is also the most challenging. Bhakti Yoga is the simplest form of yoga, accessible to anyone. Dhyan Yoga is a mental concentration technique. Karma Yoga is the practice of performing one's duties without getting attached to the outcome. The ultimate goal of yoga is to achieve Brahma Gyan, which is the knowledge of the ultimate reality. This knowledge is directly obtained from God and is distinct from knowledge derived through human reasoning. Brahma Gyan is the rulebook of goddess planet Earth and acts as a guiding light, showing the real path. After getting this knowledge, one realizes God and experiences oneness with all living beings. This knowledge is universally applicable and has been valid since the beginning of life on planet Earth and remain valid forever. According to Bhagavad Gita, Shreyad Dravyameyad Yagyad Jnana Yagyah Parantap Sarvam Karmakhilam Parth Jnane Parismapyate। अर्थात इस संसार में द्रव्यमय यज्ञ से श्रेष्ठ ज्ञान यज्ञ है, क्योंकि सभी कर्म ज्ञान में ही समाहित हैं। यज्ञ का मतलब प्रयत्न है। मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद् यतति सिद्धये यताम्पि सिद्धाना कश्चिन्मा वेति तत्वतः अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च सिद्धयति। लाखों मनुष्य में कोई एक को सफलता हासिल होती है और इनमें से में भी कोई एक ही पूर्णतया तत्वज्ञान पाता है। अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च सिद्धयति। By living in state of yoga one can get vairagya, which is samadhi. तेषा नित्याभियुक्ताना योगक्षेम वहाम्यहम्। तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति। अनेक जन संसिद्धस्ततो याति परांगतिम। गीता 6-45। योगस्थ रहकर जो कार्य किया गया है, उसके फल की चिंता नहीं करनी पड़ती। ऐसे कार्य का फल देने की और उस फल को हमेशा के लिए अबाधित रखने का काम भगवान खुद करता है। सच्चे ज्ञान को योग साधन करने वाला समय पाकर अपने अंदर ही पा लेता है। जन्म जन्मांतर तक साधन करता हुआ पुरुष सिद्ध होकर परमगति को प्राप्त होता है। वास्तव में मानव चरित्र के व्यवहार का जो मर्यादित स्वरूप है, वही जीवन मूल्यों पर आधारित आचार संहिता है, जो हमें सकारात्मक दिशा में ले जाती है। काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, माद आदि सभी दुर्गुणों और दुर्विचारों के मूलभूत हैं, जिन्हें हम अपने ज्ञान और आत्म नियंत्रण से दूर कर सकते हैं। इन्हीं के आवेग से असत्कर्मों में दुष्प्रवृत्ति होती है, जिसे हम अपने ज्ञान यज्ञ से रोक सकते हैं। अर्थात इस संसार में द्रव्यमय यज्ञ से श्रेष्ठ ज्ञान यज्ञ है, क्योंकि सभी कर्म ज्ञान में ही समाहित हैं। गीता शास्त्र समस्त मानव सभ्यता के कल्याण के लिए है और यह सार्वकालिक और सार्वभौमिक है। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता में ज्ञान योग को कर्म बंधनों से मुक्त होना या सांसारिक बंधनों से मुक्त होना कहा गया है। इसे बुद्धि योग भी कहा जाता है। ज्ञान योग का लक्ष्य आत्म साक्षात्कार है। गीता में ज्ञान योग के बारे में ज्यादा जानकारी ज्ञान योग, भक्ति योग और कर्म योग को योग की त्रिवेणी कहा जाता है। ज्ञान योग में बाहरी गतिविधि को छोड़कर आंतरिक जांच की खोज की जाती है। ज्ञान योगी का लक्ष्य है भौतिक आत्मा के बंधन से मुक्त होना। ज्ञान योगी शरीर और मन के साथ अपनी पहचान तोड़ना सीखता है। ज्ञान योगी आत्मज्ञान ब्रह्म ज्ञान प्राप्त करता है। ज्ञान योग को प्राप्त करना बहुत कठिन है। ज्ञान योग में कठोर मजबूत प्रयास की जरूरत होती है। ज्ञान योग गेटिंग नॉलेज ऑफ ब्रह्म इज कॉल्ड ज्ञान योग। ब्रह्म ज्ञान को जान लेना ही ज्ञान योग है। What is Brahma Gyan? Brahma Gyan refers to the knowledge that is directly obtained from God. This form of knowledge is distinct from that derived through human reasoning or analytical abilities, as it is grounded in truth and endures eternally. It is rulebook of Goddess planet Earth. This knowledge acts as guiding light and shows real path. After getting this knowledge, realization of God happens and it brings oneness with all living beings। भगवान ने ब्रह्म ज्ञान बोल कर दिए है, इसलिए इसको वेद नाम दिया है। The conversation between body and soul is called Ved। प्रकृति की हकीकत को समझकर उससे मुक्त हो जाना ही ब्रह्म ज्ञान है। Having knowledge about life and spending time on planet Earth without getting attached to it is called ब्रह्म ज्ञान। जीवन के चक्र विभू में प्रवेश करके सही सलामत बाहर आने के ज्ञान को ब्रह्म ज्ञान कहा जाता है। The highest divine knowledge available on planet Earth is called ब्रह्म ज्ञान। भगवान शिव ने जो ज्ञान गायत्री देवी से प्राप्त किया वो सबसे ऊंचा है, इसलिए उनको को महादेव कहा जाता है। Reflecting this knowledge in our actions, whether intentionally or unintentionally, with or without realizing it, is crucial for a successful journey on planet Earth. Brahma Gyan serves as a fundamental guide for human existence, providing indispensable knowledge for fulfilling life on Earth. At birth, all living beings are endowed with a physical body. Brahma Gyan encompasses the realization of one's soul and God, embodying the true understanding of our existence and life's purpose. This knowledge is universally applicable and has been valid since the beginning of life on planet Earth, remaining so as long as life exists. Embracing the truth and rising above illusions as the essence of Brahma Gyan, a profound understanding that empowers us to see beyond the veil. One can get Brahma Gyan directly from God by remaining in the state of yoga. योगस्थ रहकर ही ब्रह्म ज्ञान की प्राप्ति की जा सकती है। This is the most authentic, reliable and easy method to get knowledge. Buddha called this process as Deepo Bhav. Other method to attain Brahma Gyan, seeking guidance from a mentor, practicing mindfulness, and grasping the fundamental nature of reality are essential steps. The knowledge which is conceived by few pure soul are written in ancient Indian literature. It is also carved inside out in the temple. One should need Sudarshan vision to learn and understand the meaning of what is written in the form of iconography and idols. Sudarshan, Darshan, a vital concept in Hinduism, encourages us to think critically about our perceptions. By recognizing that our interpretations may differ from reality, we can strive for Sudarshan or mental clarity. This clarity enables us to see beyond our expectations and biases, allowing us to gain a deeper understanding of the world. In Hinduism, darshan also involves visiting temples and worshipping God, which embodies Vedic knowledge and reminds us of God's omnipresent nature. In Hinduism, darshan is a vital concept. It involves creating an image or interpretation in one's mind based on observations. However, this interpretation may differ from reality, leading to a false image. This concept is often explained using the analogy of a blind man describing an elephant. In contrast, Sudarshan provides an accurate and real meaning. People tend to create images of events or things based on their expectations. These expectations, combined with undesirable mental attributes called as shidripu, can lead to images that deviate from reality. Only those who can think objectively, without emotional influence, can achieve sudarshan, characterized as mental clarity. In Hinduism, darshan also refers to visiting a temple or worshipping God. Hinduism does not support idol worship. Instead, Hindu temples and idols embody Vedic knowledge. This knowledge, originating from goddess Gayatri, too few pure souls who suffer to keep themselves as sinless and innocent as born, is represented through iconography. The Shivling, for example, symbolizes God's omnipresent nature. Daily darshan of the Shivling reminds one that God is present in all living things. Even if individuals are unaware, worshipping allows them to remain under the influence of sattva guna, reducing sins. This knowledge is embedded within and on temple stones. Hence, Hindus perform pradakshina around temples to read Vedic knowledge carved on the walls by taking darshan. This divine knowledge is known as Brahma Gyan Prakritika Gyan. The divine knowledge of the Vedas was imparted to Bhagwan Shankar by goddess Gayatri, as he embodied the essence of Shiv, which signifies zero. To comprehend the concept of Shiv, it is recommended to watch the accompanying video in its entirety. The Garbhagriha of the Padmanabha Swami temple serves as a definition of Shivlingam, representing the Akash Tattva, a non-physical entity that symbolizes our inner cosmos. Vishnu represents the soul of any male, while the lotus symbolizes the body and is feminine. Bhudevi and Sridevi are the two components that comprise the female body. This concept suggests that females are indigenous to this planet, whereas male souls originate from another planet. From a scientific perspective, the X chromosome associated with females is native to this planet, while the Y chromosome associated with males originates from outside Earth. In males, the X chromosome represents the body, and the Y chromosome represents the soul. In contrast, females possess two X components, indicating that they are native to this planet. This concept pertains to the non-physical space component derived from the 5 fundamental elements that constitute our bodies. This component cannot be seen. यही कारण है कि हिंदू मंदिरों में प्राण प्रतिष्ठापना की जाती है, ताकि लोगों को यह एहसास हो सके कि अदृश्य आकाश तत्व भी हमारे आसपास मौजूद है। हिंदू मंदिर ज्ञान प्राप्त करने के लिए एक अद्भुत स्थान है, जहां ब्रह्म ज्ञान की शुरुआत 5 मूल तत्वों के बारे में जानकर होती है, जो हमारे शरीर के साथ साथ इस विशाल ब्रह्मांड में सब कुछ बनाते हैं। 5 तत्वों को मूर्ति के रूप में स्थापित किया जाता है। अदृश्य आकाश तत्व, जिसे अंतरिक्ष कहा जाता है, उसका प्रतिनिधित्व प्राण प्रतिष्ठापना अनुष्ठान द्वारा किया जाता है। कृष्ण की मूर्ति मिट्टी का प्रतीक है, जबकि राधा की मूर्ति जल का प्रतीक है। राधा शब्द को उल्टा करने पर यह धारा बन जाता है, और जल ही एकमात्र ऐसा तत्व है जिसमें धारा होती है। आग को देवता के सामने रखा जाता है और हवा हर जगह उपस्थित रहती है। प्रकृति को समझना जरूरी है। God has kept everything on planet Earth on auto mode. Understanding nature is essential. Nature is also referred to as Prakriti. Acquiring knowledge of Prakriti, known as Brahma Gyan, is vital. Every particle, object, and living species possesses inherent qualities that define their nature. This inherent nature induces continuous transformation on planet Earth, enabling everything to function independently without divine intervention. Concurrently, Mother Nature adheres to her own set of principles, regulating all aspects of the planet without divine interference. These principles drive daily changes on Earth, exemplified by the water cycle and food chain. No one can live permanently on planet Earth, as they are born to interact with others for a limited time before departing the planet, thereby escaping the cycle of birth and rebirth. Females are the only permanent residents of planet Earth. Bhudevi, the soul of planet Earth, is the sole permanent entity, with the planet serving as her physical form and she as the soul. All other females are considered her daughters. Bhudevi has the power to allow them to depart the planet with a pure soul. Male souls, however, originate from other celestial bodies. Some are the offspring of the sun, known as Surya Putra, while others come from different planets. To spend successful life on planet Earth, everyone should have knowledge. Please watch all videos posted on this YouTube channel for gaining enlightenment through spirituality, yoga. Only by the knowledge of Brahma Gyan one can get moksha, which is ultimate goal of every living being. If you like this video, please share with your contacts and subscribe to this channel.